From This Corner with John Ball is brought to you by KNEO 91.7 FM, The Word.
Good morning. Welcome to From This Corner. I'm John Ball, your host, and I have Nancy Burk. Nancy is the co-manager for the Faithful Friends Thrift Store. Nancy, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, John, for inviting me.
Hey, tell us a little bit about the thrift store. Now, we know the thrift store because of the fact it's Faithful Friends, does a lot. In fact, you told me earlier that it takes care of about 40% of the original budget for Faithful Friends.
That is correct. The sole purpose of the store is to provide a revenue source for the Faithful Friends Animal Shelter here in Neosho.
Okay, and we maybe want to touch on Faithful Friends in just a few minutes, but right now, tell me where the store is.
Okay, the store is located at 915 Harmony Street in Neosho.
And you are a 501c3, right?
That is correct. We are.
Okay, and you're open from 10 to 4, 6 days a week, right?
Yes.
Closed on Sundays.
Yes, we are.
Tell me just about how many employees do you have at the Faithful Friends thrift store?
We currently have about 10 employees. They kind of fluctuate a little in and out, but that's a round number of about what we employ there at the store. And everybody is a part-time employee. We don't have any full-time employees.
Okay, I see. Now tell me exactly how it works. I've got, say, 2 or 3 pair of pants and a pair of shoes that are probably going to end up in the trash somewhere, but they're still reasonable. I think we call those slightly used maybe or something like that. What do I need to do in order to be able to donate those? Okay,
we receive and accept donations at the store through the back entrance every day except Sunday. And we do receive them from 10 a.m. until about 2:45, 3 at the max. We try to get them in a little bit earlier before the store closes so that our employees have sufficient time to bring them in and sort them and get them, headed in the right direction before they leave for that night. So we have a clean deck when we start the next morning.
Okay. Would it be a good idea to call first?
If you have a large load, we do ask that you call first. If it's furniture or something very large and bulky, because a lot of our employees are older women, mature women, shall we say, and so we generally have a little problem if it's something very large. Now, if the donor is physically capable of getting them in the store, then that's great, because then the customer is responsible for getting it out of the store. But we do ask that you call ahead if it's going to be like a trailer load of furniture. But otherwise, no, not for just something that's in the back of your minivan.
Okay, well, give us that number.
The number there at the store is 417-454-4555.
Okay, and the thrift store operates much like other thrift stores. It's open in the mornings. Hey, you've even got a Facebook page, don't you?
That is true. If they want to see what our weekly sales are, they can just go to Facebook and check in at Faithful Friends Thrift Store. I believe the thrift store and the shelter have separate Facebook pages, so if they want to see an animal that might be adoptable, or if they want to see about what kind of sales the store is running, then just check in at our Facebook page and find out what's going on.
Well, tell me a little bit of something about how this all began.
Well, it has a very interesting history. Back in 2008, a group of people, and I'm going to say they were primarily ladies, were sitting around having coffee and talking about the problem with stray animals in the Neosho area. And they had made a decision that they were going to try to support, unofficially, just make a support group for the the Neosho dog pound, which was operating in 2008 from the city. So they started to embark upon that, make that support group work, and provide some backup for the dog pound. And lo and behold, 2 months later, Neosho closed the dog pound. So then they were left with, do we disband or do we try to strike out on our own? And the decision was made that they would strike out on their own and try to find a way to rescue these animals. So they began to work on setting up an official organization at that point.
Okay, now I said we didn't want to touch a whole lot on Faithful Friends, but we just don't bring animals in and throw them in a pen and tell people to come look at them, and if you like them, go ahead and take them, do we?
No, it's much more complicated than that, unfortunately. When a stray is brought in, the first thing they do is vaccinate it and put it on a 5-day hold. So in case the owner wants to come and claim the animal, then they have a little bit of time to do that. If that's not done within 5 days, the animal is microchipped, and then it is taken to be spayed or neutered. Then the animal is considered adoptable. You know, if it needs medical treatment, then medical treatment is provided. And after it's been spayed and neutered and vaccinated, microchipped, then it is considered adoptable, and it's moved into the adoptation. I'll say it here in a minute. The adoptable kennel. They have them separated. The animals that are not, that are still in process are in one part of the kennel, and the dogs that are dogs and cats that are now adoptable are now in a separate one where they can be viewed by potential owners.
Okay, so it takes a lot of money. Where I'm going with that, it takes a lot of money once an animal comes in and is to be taken care of properly before it's deemed adoptable and be able to send out to someone hopefully for a loving home.
Yes, that is very correct. And in the meantime, when all this is happening, that dog has to be fed, it has to be watered, it has to be put out into the exercise area. There's a multitude. It's a very labor as well as financial intensive, that there's a lot has to go on to make an animal become adoptable and get it back out to a family.
Okay, and if we go through 50 dogs a month, rotating back and forth 50 dogs a month, it turns into a lot of money. In fact, we talked about the fact that Faithful Friends has roughly $160,000 a year budget, and that's not counting all the volunteer hours that are put in.
Right.
And the thrift store actually is responsible for 40% of that budget.
That is correct. The store provides not the majority, but a fairly sizable chunk. A lot of the rest of it comes, the board is very active, hands-on board, and they do a lot of local fundraising. They do fundraising events, and then we also have donors that just provide cash donations on a monthly basis.
Okay, now we here in Newton County want to share the wealth, so we actually take animals from McDonald County as well, don't we?
That is correct. Animals that are strays or people that want to surrender animals can bring them to our kennel in Neosho. Mm-hmm.
In order to support the thrift store, Nancy, we've got 10 employees, right?
That is correct. We have about 10 part-time employees.
Okay, well, how are some other ways that we can help fund and support the Faithful Friends Project?
Well, there are several ways. Of course, just donating things, usable, good usable things, whether it's clothes, furniture, toys, outdoor equipment, anything like that would be interesting to somebody else to possibly purchase and save a little money. We accept the donations. We accept cash donations, of course, and which are tax deductible. And then, of course, if somebody wants to donate for the shelter itself, they use Purina One dog and cat chow, and there's all kinds of things they can donate. New use collars, leashes, dog toys, and just paper products, paper towels, toilet tissue, trash bags, just the ordinary things that you would need to keep the shelter going. So primarily that's what we do. We raise money for them so that they can buy what they need to keep the shelter going.
Okay, and I can tell you that having an animal, whether it be in-house or out in your yard, is expensive, isn't it?
It's very expensive. You know, if you're going to care for an animal properly, that dog needs to be. Sometimes if it's a dog that their nails, my little dog, his nails happen to grow very fast. So I have to have his nails trimmed every month. I can't believe that. He's an indoor dog, so he doesn't dig as much as a dog outside. But there's all kinds of expenses. Some dogs have allergies. Mine happens to be one of them. That's an expense. And, of course, they're regular shots. And then they just... animals get sick just like human beings get sick. So they do require some doctoring, but just the basics of getting this animal ready to adopt is quite expensive because most of them do not come in with their pedigree attached to them.
I bet that's right.
With their shot record.
I bet that's right. Once again, we're talking with Nancy Burk. Nancy is the co-manager of the Faithful Friends Thrift Store. Give us that address one more time.
The Faithful Friends Thrift Store is at 915 Harmony Street in Neosho.
And it's open from 10 to 4, 6 days a week. You're closed on Sundays, right?
That is correct.
Okay. And if there is give us a phone number. Give us that phone number one more time.
The phone number for the store is 417-454-4555.
You may just have a question. You may just wonder what's going on and how can you be of assistance. If you call that number, I bet someone will help you out with that, right?
Yes. And we're certainly always looking for volunteers, even if it's just 1 or 2 hours a week, helping to sort clothes or whatever needs to be done. We would love to talk to you if you have any interest in volunteering.
Okay, Nancy, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us. The store's already open, so they're probably looking for you to get back there pretty quick, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks, John.
From This Corner with John Ball has been brought to you by KNEO 91.7 FM, The Word. You can watch this episode and many previous episodes of From This Corner on our YouTube channel, linked to our website at www.kneo.org.